I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome back to another movie review, and today we're going to be talking about one of my most anticipated movies of this year. As you know from a video I did a little while ago, if you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend it. In my favourite movies section, I talked about one of my favourite movies of all time, and that's Blade Runner, the original from 1982. I saw it many years ago. My father introduced it to me. I've seen it many times since then, and every time it's grown more in my mind. It's become one of my favourite movies of all time. So going into the sequel to this film, which I never thought would come, obviously very excited but also anxious at the same time. But the signs were good, with great actors such as Ryan Gosling coming on board, a guy that I've been a massive fan of for a long time. He has his critics, he has his fans, but I'm definitely one of his fans. I love Drive specifically. I think that's one of his best films and the best movie of 2011, in my opinion. He's also done other really good movies like Half Nelson, which is very underseen and a very good film, where he gives a great performance, and films like The Nice Guys and other movies like that. And he is an excellent actor, and he can turn his hand to a lot of things. Obviously, he did La La Land last year, which I loved. So going to this, I was excited about him being on board. Also, Denis Villeneuve, a very, very talented director. Obviously, he's done Prisoners, Sicario, and Arrival. I did a review of Arrival on my channel last year. An excellent science fiction film, very intelligent, wasn't relying on action, but very good character study, and a sort of analysis of humankind. And that's obviously what you want going into a film, a sequel to Blade Runner. And, well, what did I think of this movie? Well, I'll get into that in a little bit. However, obviously, Denis Villeneuve didn't want to give any plot points over in reviews, so I'll keep to that. Obviously, it's the filmmaker's wishes. I am not an official critic, however, I will stick to those guidelines. The movie, I'll give you a rough overview. Obviously, it's about Kay, who is a Blade Runner, played by Ryan Gosling, who on one of his missions stumbles upon a long-buried mystery, and ends up stumbling upon Deckard, who's been missing for 30 years, obviously played by Harrison Ford. Now, I was expecting a good movie going into this. Denis Villeneuve, very talented director. Now, what I got was something I wasn't expecting. What I got was a masterpiece. This is an incredible film. I didn't expect it to be this good. And I couldn't be happier, because this is just gonna... This just isn't just a companion piece. This isn't just a pointless sequel. However good this movie could have been, people would have said, well, what's the point? Why have a sequel to Blade Runner? It was great on its own. We didn't need a sequel, but this does something very rare. It does something very... It doesn't happen very often at all. But what it does so brilliantly, Blade Runner 2049, is it expands upon everything that the first movie built, and it makes the first movie better. It makes and the first movie makes this better, and it links into each other so brilliantly, seamlessly. The only other movies I can really compare to the way that these two movies connect is the first two Godfather films, and I can't really give any higher praise than that, because, as you know, the first two Godfather films are my favourite movies of all time. This is a phenomenal movie. Ryan Gosling gives a great performance as this character. He has a lot of complexity within his character, a lot of things that he's trying to hide, and a lot of things that come up about his past. And it's such an incredible, complex, emotional performance. He goes through so many peaks and troughs in his character, so many different emotional peaks and lows, and he does it so well and so subtly, like he does in a movie like Drive, which he gives a great subtle performance. In areas of explosive violence and moments of really subtle emotion. He's very good in this movie, doing that very similar sort of performance, but also exceptionally well. Harrison Ford gives one of his best performances in years in this film. The emotional impact of certain scenes definitely really get you, and he really gives a really great layered performance overall. I really enjoyed that. But really the work that stands out above anything in this movie is from two people. Firstly, Roger Deakins, the cinematographer of this film, who's a legend, of course, has done a lot of cinematography. A lot of Denis Villeneuve's films have been shot by him. Obviously, Sicario, and I think Prisoners was as well. He's also done movies like No Country for Old Men and Fargo for the Coen Brothers, and this is by far his best work. This is one of the most beautiful films you're ever going to see. It's absolutely stunning. The vastness of this world, it expands upon the original world of Blade Runner. This, decaying Earth. This incredible work by Roger Deakins. The beauty of each frame. You just sort of bathe in its beauty. It's an incredible visual film. But what Denis Villeneuve does so well is the emotion of the characters and the humanity of the entire story, and how it talks about what it means to be human, and the wall between us and AI, and us and the replicants, and what can break down that wall, meaning there's a grey area, and they're no longer just below us. They're no longer something that shouldn't be taken seriously. They are just as human as we are, and that's alluded to in the first Blade Runner, and it's brought to the fore in this film, and it really is developed even further. This is a deep, emotional film with complexity and beauty, and this is truly one of the best films in a long time. This is by far the best movie of this year. It's by far Villeneuve's best film, and this really puts him on the map. For anyone that hadn't heard of him before, I've heard of him for a long time, been making very good movies, but this is the best film he's ever made, and really you're looking at someone now that can go on and hopefully make film after film of this quality. You're looking at an all-time great on your hands, and this movie is an all-time great. I don't say very often that a movie is as good as one of my favourite movies of all time, and it is. This can sit alongside the first Blade Runner comfortably and not feel intimidated and not out of place, and they link together so brilliantly, and I was astonished at how good this movie was. I loved Blade Runner 2049. I can't speak highly of it enough. I can't speak, I can barely speak because I can't believe how good this movie was. And as you can probably tell, I'm going to give Blade Runner 2049 10 out of 10. So there you go, that is my long anticipated review of Blade Runner 2049. I'm so relieved and incredibly surprised at how great this movie was. As a movie fan, this is, watching this film reminds you of why you love films, and I truly adored it. If you did enjoy this video, like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the section below. Have you seen this movie yet? What did you think about it? I think it is going to be quite divisive. The movie is very long. It's nearly 3 hours. It's 2 hours and 40. I think it's 2 hours and 42 minutes, something like that. So for some people, and this isn't an insult to anyone, some people don't want to watch movies that challenge them, that really are ambitious, visually and in terms of philosophically. This is a film that pushes the boundaries technically and emotionally, and a lot of people aren't ready for that. People won't like this movie, but then there's going to be people that love this movie, and I'm definitely one of them. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.